Watcher. So, nothing really major to tell you different this week on investments and stuff, apart from what I've been talking about for the last weeks and weeks and weeks. You know, we went over it, I think, last week. There's 19 different coins. I know you ain't going to want me to list them again. But there's 19, well, maybe you do. There's 19 different coins. I'll see if I can think of them. There's 19 different coins that are rare as rock and horse poo, that I say people should buy. And the reason I say you should buy them is because you're not going to see them in the change, because they're not going to release them. And this debate of releasing coins and not releasing coins, the only thing I would say to anybody is, if you want to take the Kew Gardens as a benchmark, if you do, not all of us want to, but if you do, 100 to 150 quid after 10 years, 2009, it's now 2019, after 10 years it's 100, 150 quid, and $250,000 were put into circulation. So my only question to you is, sit down and think about this. $250,000 went into circulation. There's still a few out there in circulation. You can still find them. We don't find them very often. In fact, we ain't found one all year, but they are there. I spoke to someone the other day who'd found one, but it's rare. However, there's a few out there. So there's over 200,000 of them come out of circulation, probably. That's just a guess. And they're all over the world in people's collections. Now, the question is, what if none of them had gone into circulation? What if absolutely none of them had gone into circulation? What if they did the same thing to that coin as what they've just done to, say, the 2019 Kew Gardens? So, how much money? It's already 100 to 150 quid. That's something none of us can argue with. That's the price. So, how much would it be worth if it didn't go into circulation at all? Now, if you think that the figure would be higher than the 19 coins that they're not releasing into circulation, it's a no-brainer. Because if you yourself think, well, if none of the Kew Gardens went into circulation, then I reckon it would be XXX, and it's higher than 150 quid, then it's a no-brainer. That's why you have to invest in those coins at the moment and now, while the price is low, before they hit 20s and 30s and 40 quids. You need to invest in them as soon as you can. So that's the easiest and the best way to deal with that subject and answer that question. You know, because there are people that are going to argue on both sides of the fence. Well, not everybody will want it because it's not been circulated and so on and so forth. That's fine. So just ask yourself that one question. What if the Kew Gardens had not gone into circulation? How much would that be worth today? And whatever figure you place on that, that's roughly what the Gruffalo or the Peter Rabbit or the Frankenstein or the Aviation or any of those coins are going to be then. Now, my own opinion is that if Kew Gardens with $250,000 went into circulation is 150 quid tops now, then I reckon if it hadn't have gone into circulation, that coin would be worth maybe in excess of £200-300. I would say in excess of £300 myself. So that means what I'm saying to you is every one of these 19 coins in 10 years' time is going to be worth £300 each. And I will personally put a couple away of each. You know, I don't put like hundreds away of each. No different to anybody else. I'm on wages, and no different to anybody else. I've only got so much space in the back of my wardrobe, you know, like you have in yours. So you have to be a bit choosy on what you save. And I'd rather save something for my pension that I know is going to be worth a few quid than save something that I know ain't going to be worth a few quid. And every one of these 19 coins is going to be worth that kind of money in 10 years' time. So, you know, I mean, I'd even go as far as to say that I would in 10 years' time, I would buy them back at 40 or 50 quid each. Because if I got offered a load of Kew Gardens for 40 or 50 quid each, I'd buy 100. Of course I would. Even though I could have got them for 10 quid each then, but I didn't, did I? You know, like everybody else. Everybody that doesn't jump on it now is going to be looking back going, oh, I didn't, did I? I could have done, but I didn't. You know, don't let that be you. One thing that you can guarantee with these 19 or 20 coins, I keep saying 19 or 20 because I forget, but one thing that you can guarantee, absolutely guarantee, right, is the price that they are now, you'll never lose. So whatever the price is now, if you buy one now, you are not going to lose money on that in the future. Absolutely, 100% guaranteed that is. You cannot lose money on it. And I don't think there's many things that we can say that about, to be honest. So investments, yeah, got a bit of a deal there. There's something I want to go for, and for the next 7 days, I might extend it to 14, but for the next 7 days, I'm only going to just say for the next 7 days, because if I get enough for what I want in the next 7 days, then I'll put it back to normal. So, but for the next 7 days, those of you that have been regulars with the investments and enjoying all the points and having a spend up and all that, some of you are starting to like get through them points like a dose of salts. So you might want to need to refresh it and get some more up there. So for the next 7 days, if you go on and click on and buy the investment, and it doesn't matter whether you pay us in the bank account or just pay for it, click the button, buy it, pay for it through WellPay. You know, they don't work like PayPal, so we're quite happy with that. But for the next 7 days, until next Wednesday morning, no, Tuesday night, not Wednesday morning, because Wednesday I'll be working on the upgrades and so on. So up till about, say, midnight Tuesday night, from now till midnight Tuesday night. Any investment sold will get an extra 9 times bonus. So you'll end up with 10 times your points. So you'll get a 9 times points bonus added manually. And that'll be done immediately in order to let you have a bit of a spend up. So if you want to top up them points, get hold of the investments. There are a couple of denominations might be sold out. I'll have to have a look at that, see whether or not I can add them. So by the time this video goes out, that'll probably be edited and a couple more added. So all of the denominations should be there from 250 quid up to 10k. And what we're looking at raising is about 40 or 50 for this particular deal that I've got in mind, which I will let you know about more later. It's funny, isn't it? You know, get the money first, let them know about it later. But I don't want to talk about, obviously, what it is that I'm going to put it into, because it might let the wrong people know. Anyway, so if you fancy having a go on that, you can get in touch by all means, give me a ring by all means, or just go straight on and buy it. No need for me to create a sale anymore the way that I was doing it before, because we're no longer using PayPal, so we're not needing to do that. So you just do it yourself. But if you do need to speak to me, by all means speak to me, and we'll have a chat. Okay, so that's pushed the investments a little bit, and if you've never invested with us before, you get 25% a year. So, and this is why we're so successful with it, and why our customers love it. And you also get points with your investment, so you win both ways really, because all the free coins you get, I've got investors that just non-stop, every day they're buying coins, and they're using their free points to do it, because they've invested, you know, a fair bit, and therefore they've had a lot of points. So yeah, it's good for you. Moving on, what was I going to do next? Well, we're going to have a go at seeing if I can remember those 19 coins. So the coins that you should be buying, if you've got half the brain I've got, or double the brain I've got, whichever way round is. Anyway, the ones you should be buying. Jane Austen Aviation, I don't class them as being circulated, because so few of them went into circulation. Jane Austen Aviation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 RAF coins, which are your Centenary, which is the badge, Spitfire, Sea King, Vulcan Bomber, and the Sea King Helicopter, that was Vulcan Bomber, and the Lightning. So there's your 5 RAFs. That makes 7. Samual Pepys, Wedgewood, 8, 9. D-Day, I think, is going to be one of them, 10. Armistice, 11. Frankenstein, 12. Frankenstein, very, very popular and going up in price at the minute. Armistice is going to be the next one going up in price. I can promise you that. I think the mint sold out on that one. Anyway, we're up to 10. That's it for the £2, I think. Was that it for the £2? Yeah. So then we've got Gruffalo, 11. Snowman, 12, already going up in price. And the Gruffalo, 2. Peter Rabbit also going up, 13. Peter Rabbit 19, that is. That's number 13. Then you've got the 5 in the new set. The Britannia, the Roger Bannister, the Girl Guides, the Boy Scouts and the Kew Gardens. So you're up to 18. And next, I think Sherlock Holmes is going to be one of them. Although someone did say to me that it's supposed to be coming out in circulation. Not too sure. Can't trust what the mint tell us. I can't trust the mint at all on stuff like that. Purely and simply because the very last time they let us down on bad information, they told us week after week after week after week that the 2019 10p's were not going to be minted because there was no call for 10p's and the Treasury didn't have the mintage. And then 1 week later, they announced that they had them for sale. Now, they knew, all them weeks, they knew that they had them. They knew they were going to do them. You know, they'd been to the printers to print out the 2019 folders. I mean, all of that was done months in advance. And, you know, it's just lies after lies after lies. And I don't understand why they need to do that. It makes no sense. Anyway, so that's why I can't trust what they tell us, because we literally don't know until it happens. Now, every single one of I am so confident, and this is, on the one hand, I suppose this could be a sales tactic. Yeah, I suppose it is. But on the other hand, it's just like, I can't get any more straight talking, really. Any of the 1920 coins that I've mentioned that don't go into circulation, so forgive me if I've mentioned one and it does go into circulation, then obviously I'm not counting that in. But any of the coins that I've mentioned that don't go into circulation, I would probably buy them back off you at 40 quid each in 10 years' time. I don't see why I wouldn't buy them back for about 40 quid each. You know, lowest 30 quid, 40 quid. And I'm thinking of me, because I'd have to buy them in and then resell them at the time, right? So if I was offered Kew Gardens now for 40 quid, I would buy it. I'd snap anybody's hand off. If somebody offered me 50 Kew Gardens at £40 each, I'd buy them tomorrow. And so would you. We'd all have to go back in time and buy them for a tenner each. Trouble is, when I first started, they were £17.50 each. I didn't know they were going to go up this much this quick. So, and I say that because I can't impress enough. That's where you should be spending your money if it's for an investment point of view. However, if we're talking just from a collectible point of view, then obviously collect every single different coin that you haven't got. But from an investment point of view, you wouldn't go out. What's the point, for example? You won't hear me saying, invest in the Tale of Peter Rabbit 2017 or invest in Benjamin Bunny 2017. You won't hear me say that, and I won't say that because it's a crap coin from an investment point of view. All of the 2017 Beatrix Potters were crap from an investment point of view because they minted far too many, over 50 million. 50 of those 4 coins. Ridiculous amounts. I think they did, what was it, 15, 16 million of one coin? Ridiculous amounts. So you won't hear me say to you, invest in those, even though I've got loads of them for sale. You know, you can buy them off me. Only buy them off me if you want to buy it for your collection. But don't buy them off me if you want to invest money in them. They're not worth investing in from that point of view unless you can get them cheap enough. I mean, even though they made 50 million of them, they're still going to be 3 or 4 quid each, 5 quid each, whatever, in 10 years' time, because they'll have made another 50, 100, they've made another billion of them by then. So they won't be rare, but at the same time, there'll be another 500 million coins in the mixing bowl in 10 years' time. But what I'm trying to say is there are coins that are worth investing in because you're going to put them away and they're going to be worth the money. And when I say worth the money, I'm talking like 10 times your money. I'm not talking just doubling up. Doubling up over 10 years ain't no good. You need to be 10 times in your money, 20 times in your money. That's what you need to be doing. And for that, you need the coins that are not going into circulation that you can buy whilst they're hot off the press, as it were. Buy them now, because they will just keep going and going and going and going and going. As soon as a mint sells out, the price goes up. And as far as I know, mint sold out on Gruffalo, Peter Rabbit and Frankenstein and Armistice. So there's 4 coins that have been sold out, and I haven't got many Armistice, unfortunately. I like to have had 1,000 of them, but I didn't get 1,000 of them. So there you are. So that's where I say invest your money for your own future. And I also say, quite strongly, that these coins, not only do I advocate that you spend your money on them, but I don't necessarily advocate you spend it with me. Just spend it with me if you're feeling a bit like bone idle and can't be bothered to shop around. You know, because I don't overcharge for my stuff. But I'm not saying buy it from me, buy it from me. You know, if you can buy it from someone else, buy it from someone else if it's cheaper, definitely. But if you can't be bothered to look around, or, you know, if you just want to go straight on and buy it, yes, we've got them for sale. And buy what you can whilst we've got them. Because at some point, you know, I'm going to be putting the prices up like I did on a Snowman. I put the Snowman up at 25 quid and it's still sold out. And come Christmas, I think my prediction of like 40 or 50 quid for the Snowman will be on the money. And you won't be far wrong on a lot of the other coins either, once they're sold out. So that's where you need to be putting your money. Any spare you've got, put it in the ones that are going to be rare or not circulated at all. That's where it needs to go, because they're the ones that are going to be worth the money in the future. I mean, I know, as silly as this sounds, for example, 2017 10p, 2017 50p, both of which will be, what, a fiver? 5 to 10 quid in 10 years' time? And there'll be that much money, because even though they minted 1.8 million of the 50p's, and not everybody collects the shields like they do the commemoratives, again, over the next 10 years, another 500 million, a billion 50p's, or another 500 million, billion 10p's are going to get chucked into that mixing bowl. So the fact that there was 1.8 million of the 50p made, and I think 24 million of the 10p made, 24 million is nothing in the grand scheme of things for the amount of 10p's that are made. And so over the next 10 years, into that melting pot of 10p's every year, there's going to be, you know, 100 million 10p's minted every year, or whatever the figure is, 50 million a year, or whatever it is. All of that going into that melting pot. And then you've got to try and find your 2017, which people will want in the future to finish their collection, and so on. So that's why I say, find these coins, put them away, because at the moment, you know, something for a couple of quid, well, it's not worth a great deal, a couple of quid. But anything that's worth a couple of quid now is going to be worth a fiver to a tenner in 10 years. Has to be. That's just maths and logic and my dopey thinking. I know I talk about like 19 coins or whatever it is that are there to invest in and so on. And I've been banging about that for weeks and weeks and weeks and so on. But I probably haven't put as much store into the 10p's. And really, the 10p's are just as good an investment as any of those 19 coins. And I'll tell you for why. Because they only made 5.2 million of the 2018 10p's, which, if they made an even number of every single letter, that's a maximum of 200,000 a letter. Chances are they probably made more of one than they did of another, and some are going to be rarer than others. But if we just took a broad spectrum and said that they made the same amount of each letter, then it's a maximum of 200,000 a letter. That's 50,000 lower than the Kew Gardens, right? And using the Kew Gardens as a benchmark. So the 2019 10p's, less than half the amount were made, because 2.1 million. And with 26 letters, that's not even 100,000 each. That's less than 100,000 each. So both of those, you're going to find those in your change. And boy, when you find them in your change, every time you find a 10p that's got a letter on it, and you find that in your change, and therefore you've got it for 10p, and you haven't paid any more than that, that's a really good find. Put that away in a little bag in your cupboard with the other 10p's that you find with letters on, and know that in 10 years or so time, every single one of them is going to be worth 20 quid. At least 20 quid. I know it's mental now to even think that. To think that these coins that you are going to be able to find, and all of us will find one or two in our change. I mean, I've spoken to people that have. I haven't actually found any in change myself from shops or whatever, but only from what we've got from, you know, our bank runs and so on. I haven't actually seen one come out in change yet, proper change, but I've spoken to people that have found them in their change. So if you find one, doesn't matter what letter you find, I reckon, you don't have to take my word as gospel, but I reckon that every single letter will be worth at least 20 quid each, and that is the 2018 letters. And I think every 2019 letter, if you're looking at 20 quid for that, you've got to be looking at 30 quid for the other. And they've hardly come out yet, and there's 2 million of them. 2 million times 20 quid is something like 40 million pounds worth of economy, and I bet they don't even realise it. That the 2019 letters have generated something in the economy, to add to the economy, to the tune of, over the next couple of years, 40 million or more. Because that's how much people are going to be spending on buying and selling these coins. So that's what I think. So if you add that, that's another reason why I say it's a bit of a boom time, really. You're actually in a boom time. You know, you're living through it. You're partaking in it. You are part of it. Even though you may not realise it, this is a boom time. This is the 2009 Kew Gardens all over again, but with you knowing about it whilst it's happening at the time. And you've not just got that on one coin, you've essentially got that on 34 coins. No, 44 coins. So we're up to like, and let's just say I might have made a mistake on one. Let's round it off, call it 45, but I added it up to 44. That many coins, that many. And every single one of them is gonna go up in incredible amounts of value. A 10p selling at 20 quid is 200 times its value. So you put that coin away, you find it in your change and you put it away, you're getting 200 times the value. And even if you've got no money, just buy one letter, any letter. It doesn't matter what letter you buy, it doesn't matter who you buy it off, just buy a letter, put it away. Know that when you buy that letter for a couple of quid or whatever you've paid for it, you're putting away 20 quid for later on. No one had that opportunity 10 years ago. You've got that opportunity now. That's why I can't stress about it enough, really. Anyway, that's about it for the investment. I don't think there's anything else to say, apart from they are the coins that you can look out for in your change, is the A to Zs. And there's 52 of them, remember, that you can look out for, because you've got 26 2018s and 26 2019s. So there's actually, not 56, 26, 26, 52. So there's 52 coins that you can find in your change that you absolutely can guarantee will be worth 200 times their face value or more in 10 years. When your kids are grown up or of age, ready to get a car, they could pay for it. And it's cost you next to nothing to put them away. Even if you buy them, it's cost you next to nothing to put them away. It's 10 times your money or 20 times your money. 200 times your money if you find it, 20 times your money if you buy it. Anyway, there we go. So, thanks very much, and see you next week.